Hey guys, Sam here and welcome back to Samcraft and welcome to a long anticipated video. Today is the workshop tour of my brand new 20 by 32 workshop. Coming in the door of my workshop, if we turn immediately to the left, or as you guys are seeing it, to the right of the door, this is my first laser table, the laser station number 1. I have my X-Tool S1 40 watt sitting on the table at the far left. Right in the middle is the X-Tool P2 CO2 laser in the center. And then to the right is the Commarker B4 20 watt fiber laser. They are in order of most used to least used in relationship to where my desk is. So right there, my desk being in the middle, that Commarker fiber laser is my number 1 go-to. It handles all of my engravings unless the object is getting engraved and cut. That fiber laser is doing all of it. And then second in line is the X-Tool P2. It is the machine that I have to do all of my cuts and engraves and stuff like that. Down there on the floor, you will see a couple of boxes and things. That is where the X-Tool F1 lives. It is not a laser that I use every day for business at this point. So for now, the F1 is sitting there to be used as needed, mainly for customer support since I sell test files, jigs, and fixtures for the F1, and I need to keep it on hand for customer support reasons. Also below the laser table, you will see a bunch of empty, underutilized space. I'll go ahead and let you know, that's going to be a common theme in this shop right now because I'm still pretty new into this space. I just have enough stuff in here to consider myself primarily moved in, but I have not really begun to do any kind of major organization, shop projects, and really utilize every square inch of the shop like I need to be doing. The other thing which you guys have obviously seen is the large 6-inch ductwork that goes from right here at my laser table up to the ceiling and heads on down the line. That is a part of my fume extraction system that I have in the shop. It is all 6-inch diameter ductwork and steps down right at the last second at the machines as need be. I have several different size blast gates installed. That way, if I'm only using one machine, the other machines have their blast gates closed and all of the extraction can be focused on that one machine. Being a 6-inch diameter system with a high CFM rating inline fan down there at the very end enables me to have honestly everything open all at once and have extremely good ventilation and extraction of all fumes, smoke, and other bad stuff we don't want to breathe in the shop, which is good because the last thing I want to do is undersize my fan to where I can't use more than one machine at a single time. That would just defeat the purpose. Moving on down the line, we have my desk setup, which for now is a micro PC mounted to the back of my monitor, which is then attached to an articulating stand, which allows me to pivot it right, left, and do that kind of stuff if I ever really need to, which is not that common to be honest. On the desk, I also have general desk stuff, right? We got keyboard and mouse, we have drinks, we have label printer for shipping labels, and then over to the left, pen cups, random stuff, and a notepad. It's not much to really talk about as far as the desk. I don't have anything amazing or fantastic. There's no great feats of imagination and creativity going on here. It's a desk and it works. To backpedal a little bit, the one cool thing about the desk is it is an electric lift sit stand desk type setup. It has a keypad here, it has linear actuators in the legs, and it raises and lowers as need be. Right now it is in the standing mode, which is the mode it stays in most all of the time. Unless I'm out here running a very lengthy job and I need to sit down because I'm otherwise just killing time, I will have this thing in stand mode. To change between the two though, it's as easy as a push on the button. It goes up and down to my presets that I've got, and it's nice. It's extremely handy to have this style desk. You're also going to notice a little bit of dead space between the desk and the fiber laser. That is left there intentionally for now because there are some galvo, at least one galvo laser, if not two, coming to the shop very soon, and I want those to live right next to the desk. Just like the fiber laser is, I expect that the other ones will be there as well. So for now, yes, dead empty space looks weird, but don't worry, that's about to be filled up. Moving down the line, immediately to the right of my desk is a giant box with a bed sheet over top of it. That's intentional. You guys obviously can tell what's probably there. You are very intelligent. I am not pulling the wool over your eyes, but I didn't want to reveal it just yet because this guy deserves its own video, which, don't worry, will be the next one coming out from Samcraft. So in the meantime, give me your guesses. What do you think this is? I know you're going to get it. Most all of you will get it. But what do you think specifically it is? I look forward to hearing your guesses below. And down here against the wall is the end of the workshop and the wall of shelving, which is a lot. But as you can see, probably is not enough for this guy. These are metal adjustable shelves that I got from Home Depot. They are very heavy duty commercial grade ones, so I spent a little bit more for these strong ones, and I absolutely don't regret that. I also bought the caster wheel set that goes on the bottom of them, and also don't regret buying those. These shelves are invaluable for not only storage, but being on wheels, allowing me to move them around. This current setup that they're in now is probably the 4th or 5th iteration and area that they've been put in since the shop has been done, which has not been that long. Having them on wheels also allows me to wheel the shelf from here to the door, load up materials, cases of objects, whatever I want, and then bring it back over here for storage. That has been done several times, and that has been super handy. It's not going to take a rocket scientist to also realize that, Sam, there's not very much organization going on with those shelves. You've got some boxes there, you've got some things you probably don't need. Get with the program, Gene. Well, yes, you're right. They are not very organized, but keep in mind, in my defense, I'm pretty new to the space, and some of this stuff I didn't know until probably just now that I don't really need it here. And so yes, now that stuff can go ahead and leave. It can be taken back to the store, it can be put somewhere else, and it doesn't need to live in such a high value real estate location as the shelves right here are. So yes, I hear you, you're right. As far as what organization and storage I do have, these guys right here, these stackable totes, the Husky brand from Home Depot, are super, super handy. I like having these for a lot of the larger items. I can keep different colors, sizes, or whatever's of my blanks in stock. I can easily see them, retrieve them. They're not in a box, they're not in a drawer, and they're easy to get to. Over here in the corner is a machine, an old friend of Samcraft that has not been used in way too long. This is my Shapeoko Pro XXL CNC. It's a CNC router, and it is sitting on top of my self-built, self-designed CNC table unit on wheels with drawers. I've always had this machine in my old workshop, but it has always been buried too far into the corner and not enough space around it to ever let me fire it up. I'm happy to say that has no longer been the case. Since being in the shop, I actually had my first CNC job in a very long time, but I was able to fire it up, relearn the ins and outs of using it, which unfortunately was a little bit steeper of a learning curve than I hoped it would have been, but still pushed through and made the products in the end. These were products I made for friends, so I didn't risk a true business client to, haven't used my CNC in a while. Sure, I'll take the job. This was a friend job, so it was okay, a little bit low stress, but regardless, it was really fun to actually start using the CNC again. It has been way too long, and I enjoy using it and look forward to using it a lot more in the near future. To the right of the CNC, this thing right here of Frankenstein is my DIY dust collection in an enclosure, make it quiet type experiment. I built this 4 years, maybe almost 5 years ago, and I love it. Actually, I really like it. It's great for working with the CNC. Hook it right up to the hose on the machine. It extracts everything. It has a little cyclone that separates out the stuff, and then everything else otherwise goes down into the enclosure, to the shop vac, into its bag and filter, and allows all the air to stay clean in the shop. It has been one of those things that when I made it was I don't know, let's be creative, let's do something cool in the shop. Finished it out, planned on tweaking it here and there. Well, life has happened. It's still working fine, so it's one of those things that has just stayed as is. If you want to watch a blast from the past, I'll put a link to the video series down below whenever I made that. That'll be down there, as well as a CNC table. There'll be a link to the CNC videos if you are interested in that kind of stuff, and basically anything else that applies. As we go through the shop tour, if anything is linkable, if I have content on it, I'll put it down below. So check out those links if you'd like to see more or deep dive into a specific subject. Moving on down from the dust collector is my table saw. That is a DeWalt 10-inch job site style saw, and it works great for me. I don't use the table saw that much, and when I need it, this one is perfect for wheeling outdoors, cutting the things I need, bringing it back in, and stowing it away. I'm not what you consider a traditional woodworker, which is fine. I know who I am. I know what I like to do, but I do need a table saw every once in a while, and this guy really does fit the bill. To the right of the table saw is, a laser table. That's not where it should be. Well, that goes back to the elephant in the room with the bed sheet covered over it not long after building the tables, putting them into place. One thing led to another, and I realized, well, probably shouldn't have built 2 tables, huh? For now, that laser table is relegated to a pretty pitiful excuse for a workbench. It has my cordless miter saw on it, my cordless random orbit sander, and is kind of a catch-all just for now. I probably will need to change it, modify it, or move it perhaps to my old workshop if I want to use something over there. But otherwise, I guess I have an extra laser table that I don't necessarily have a use for, at least right now. Coming on down to the right, from that laser table that's not very useful, we are greeted with some rolling shelves that are not very useful either, or rather, not being used well. This is what it is for right now. These are some shelves of surface-itis and stuff, and it's basically where, well, random stuff has been moved to, right? Things that I need in the workshop, but haven't really figured out a good solution for just yet. And then rounding out the wall tour, we have this one, which is basically a blank wall. We have my power box. The Blue Eddy power station is still sitting there, although it's not being used in here anymore. And then there is a mini fridge, because, hey, every workshop needs a mini fridge, right? So this space, in addition to the space where these black roll-around shelves are what I consider to be the worst utilized, needs the most attention, can really be put to better use spaces in my workshop right now. The close second is that laser table that's not really for lasers anymore. As far as things that I want to add in the near future, maybe over the next couple of months or whatever, is a utility sink, a place where I can dedicate to wash my acrylic projects, wash off any paint brushes, do that kind of stuff. It would be great to have a utility sink here in the shop. I've come to realize that it is something that is very useful and required for some projects that I would like to do. Part of me also wants to put up some wall shelves to feel like I'm utilizing this space better, but I don't want to do that at the same time because I'm still getting used to this space. I don't know how things are going to change and ebb and flow, and I would really hate to put anything on my wall to end up wanting to move it in the future, or even worse, not move it because I have put it on the wall and it not served me the best for my workflows. So for now, it may not change that much, but hey, it's room to grow in the future. So we've done the wall tour. Now let's take a quick peek at the center of the shop, and there is my 4-foot by 8-foot long work table that I built, sitting right where I always wanted it to be. This table is empty for now, but it is not always empty, and honestly, it was made to be a surface to catch things as I need while I'm doing daily operations, projects, and stuff like that. I love having the full 4-foot by 8-foot sheet size to be able to put things on. It's been great for staging products as I make them, preparing them to ship, packaging them to ship, working on cleaning and finishing or doing anything else. So far, it has been really, really helpful, handy, and I'm very glad that it was one of the first things that I built in here. Down here on this end of the table, I have another wire metal shelf brought in here, and it is currently storing all of my Baltic birch plywood, my acrylic sheets, my Vivor hat press, my postage scale, and a couple of random other things, as well as storing electrical wire and conduit at the bottom, which again is something else that just needs to leave from this shop, go into my old one for more general storage, and allow me to further utilize this space, what I have, for the business operations that I intend it to be used for. Looking ahead, I will be adding electrical outlets to this table. It's something that first crossed my mind whenever I put the table into place, but I wanted to give myself enough time to move around, fill the space up, and make sure that the table was going to be where I think it was going to be before I went ahead and ran the circuits under the floor of my workshop, came up from the bottom, and added some outlets to the table. I'm at the point where I'm ready to do that. I actually really need to do that because anytime I have anything such as a heat gun or any other electronic device, I have to take it either over here where the laser table is or this table where the miter saw is, and it's just a hassle. So we can add that to the list of videos coming up on the channel, hopefully soon. Not exactly sure yet when, but it is on the list to do, is to add some more circuits and outlets under the table. And with that, that's it. That's the tour of my workshop. Not a whole lot to be seen, although a lot of stuff here and there, but I don't know. Was it worth your while? I guess if you're still here, you thought it was. So thank you. As you can tell, this workspace is tailored to my own individual needs. You don't see the more traditional woodworking stuff set up in here, and honestly, I don't know that you will. You're probably not going to see that table saw get a permanent home. It's kind of outfeed table, stuff like that. The miter saw, that's probably all the space it'll ever get, and that space may dwindle over time as well. I am not a traditional flat wood woodworker. I'm not a wood turner. I am more of a maker, a laser engraving, laser cutting, and additional things in the future. I gotta be careful not to say, but all that kind of stuff is more of a, I don't know, what is that considered? Manufacturing, clean production. It's not a sawdust making profession. It's more of a whatever else that is profession. So I don't need the traditional woodworking tools. I'm not building tables, cabinets, furniture, none of that stuff for a business. This is a different style of business, so this space has been catered and built in a way to where it fits that need. That being said, who knows what the future will hold? Who knows what will come down the pike, what I'll end up doing, and this space in general could be easily modified for whatever those purposes are. I like the fact that this is a wide open workshop. There's no dividing walls, no separations. I've not put anything in place that cannot be easily moved around or changed or removed, with the exception, I guess, of that fume extraction fan at the very top corner of the shop. That's fine. I'm happy with that. I want to keep this as fluid as possible. In the event things change, machines arrive or go, things happen, who knows. Keeping this space as versatile as possible to allow me, myself, as a business owner to adapt and constantly change is what's going to equate success in the end, and that's the name of the game. If you guys got any questions or comments, leave them for me down below. Otherwise, hopefully you enjoyed watching this tour. If you followed the whole build series, hopefully you also enjoyed getting to see how I'm starting to use this. But of course, stick around to see how this develops out, the things I add over time. And of course, that elephant over there underneath the sheet is coming up next on Samcraft. Take care as always, and I'll see you next time.